This is November 2025, and these are my thoughts. At a time when big companies are investing heavily in AI automation, they are trying to remove humans from their system as much as possible. What is your survival strategy as a human? If Amazon is investing billions of dollars in data center, is investing billions of dollars in AI automation in its warehouses, okay, it's investing heavily in its cloud-based services, investing heavily to make sure that processes and systems are automated, laying off thousands of workers. What is your survival strategy going to be going into the future? How do you know where a company is going into the future? It is where it is putting its money. How do you know what a company is thinking of in the next 5 years, in the 10 years, in the next 10 years? How do you know where a company is going in the next 20 years? You can know that through the money, through where it is putting its money. I have a personal principle of following the money. You don't need to tell me what you are going to do. I just need to know where you are spending your money, and then I can guess up to 80% 90% where you're going to be in the next 5 years or next 10 years. Check where companies like Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, Meta, Microsoft is spending its money, its budget, its research and development funding, where it is heavily investing its money right now, and you will guarantee where it thinks or where they think the future is going to be. And one of the things they're spending their money on is AI automation. Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, they competing in the release of AI models. Okay, they're constantly competing against each other in releasing the best version of their AI model. Okay, recently I think Gemini 3.0 Pro version was released. Okay, and it's said to be better than ChatGPT 5. Okay, so they are coming with the better version of their large language model versions. Several tasks are being automated. The question is, when big companies like this are investing heavily to get people out of the system and to replace it with automation, how are you going to get your bills paid? Are you thinking about that? That is the essence of this video. Assuming we have another lockdown like we had in 2020, right now, assuming we have a shutdown that no one is allowed to go to work but stayed indoor because of a pandemic, of a communicable disease, of a pandemic outside, what is going to happen to your income? How are you going to survive? If we have another lockdown right now, are you prepared for it? What did you learn 5 years ago? Okay, that will make you more prepared for another lockdown right now. If you have not been thinking of another lockdown, I'm not saying there's going to be a lockdown, but what if it happens? Would you be better off than what happened or what you were in 2020? If you knew there was going to be 2020 pandemic, what would you have done differently? If there's going to be a pandemic next year, 2026, if someone tells you, see, there's going to be a lockdown in 2026, like we had, in fact, similar one, or a more devastating or a more widespread lockdown in 2026, more than what we had in 2020, what would you start doing differently now? Would you be spending as much as you are right now? Would you be making plans, or would you take the same decision as you are taking right now? So that is the question. So see, some things happen that we cannot prevent. They have significant effect on our lives. Nobody planned for COVID, but it happened. So sometimes we need to think of emergencies happening outside our control. But the people that get ahead in those emergencies are the people that are prepared for the emergency. Nobody wants an emergency, but do they occur? Do they happen? Yeah, emergency happens every time. So the problem is not the emergency. The problem is whether we are prepared for the emergency. Companies are positioning themselves for the economy of the future. Okay, where most business operations and processes will be automated, where at a particular processes at a particular time 10 people, or let me say 15 people, are required for an operation. But right now they have invested in processing and automation that required only one person to get that job done, and every other role has been eliminated. So if big corporations are investing heavily to get people out of its system, it is time right now for you to start creating your own system using the same automation, the same AI tool, to get yourself prepared. Okay, so now our threat right now is not only a possible shutdown in the future, but our threat, another threat now, is the companies that no longer want to hire us because they found a cheaper solution, cheaper way of making money. Don't forget, companies are for profit. If getting people out of a system is possible, they will go for it. And right now, they are going for it. So companies are going for the option, a cheaper option of getting people out of a system. Okay, that was why we have the question: is AI going to replace humans? Okay, and I know you know the answer. AI is not really going to replace humans. It's not going to replace people. AI is going to replace those who refuse to learn how to use it to get ahead. Okay, AI is going to replace people. Automation, okay, is going to replace people who fail to strategically learn the skill and commit to building processes and systems for the future. Let me tell you something. It's going to be automation versus automation. Automation versus automation. If big corporations are investing heavily in automation, you cannot compete in that kind of economy, in that kind of system, without you becoming an automated system. So the essence of this video is creating your own automation system to compete in the job market or in the future economy. Now, I'm giving you two challenges right now. The first challenge is whether you are prepared for the future shutdown. And secondly, whether you are prepared for the future where companies will no longer hire people. Are you prepared for those two scenarios? That's the essence of this video. So right now, that is my thinking. That is what I see ahead. And that is the essence of this video. It's been a while that I'm thinking of making videos like this to sensitize people on the possibilities of a future lockdown. And come to think of it, there is already a test running of a possible future lockdown. And the kind of future lockdown that is going to happen might not really be due to a virus in the real sense, but may be a glitch in a computer system that grounds everything down. Whereas we have had this happen in recent time that lasted for few hours. Future lockdown could last for 10 days, could last for a month. And in that case, what would you do? How would you have been able to prepare ahead? So now the system is, if everything is becoming automated and digital, what is the strategy, okay, to build assets in that kind of system? Okay, we don't become irrelevant because we stop learning, or we don't become, no, let me put it this way. We don't become irrelevant because we stop doing what we have been doing. We become irrelevant because the world no longer needs what we are doing. Yeah. We become irrelevant not because we stop doing what we've been doing for years. We become irrelevant because we fail to adapt to the changing environment that needed what we've been doing. That is it. Okay? So the business environment we have right now is changing so fast. It's requiring a different skill set from us. That is what it means by saying AI will take your job, because your current skill set is already being done by AI, and therefore you are no longer irrelevant. If the company has to make a choice between you doing something and AI doing the same thing, it will rather make a choice for the AI because it is cheaper. Okay, it is cheaper on the long run and makes more money for the shareholders of the company. So it's about profitability, it's about the bottom line, it's about the shareholders, it's not about you. So you have to strategize for you. The company is not going to strategize for you. There used to be a time that people could retire comfortably on the company's pension plan, but today it is no longer possible. It is no longer possible. Baby boomers find it difficult to accept the reality that they cannot retire. Okay? Baby boomers cannot retire comfortably because comparing the current cost of living with what they have in savings, it cannot match up. There's a variance between what their savings is, okay, and the rising cost of living. Okay, most baby boomers did not expect this. At the time they were actively in the job market, they thought their retirement plan was going to be enough. Okay, so that is the current situation now. So if you're a new graduate or you are a young person, okay, you are a Gen Z, you are a Generation Y, okay, what makes you think that the company retirement plan will be sufficient for you, even when baby boomers currently, who had a better economy when they were actively working and younger, okay, baby boomers, when they were younger, when they were in their 20s or their 30s, things economy was better, okay, so but now they are having challenges with retirement. Okay, long-term care is a big expense for baby boomers. Old age related conditions is a big expense for baby boomers, especially in Canada. These are the people that had it better, things working for them when they were younger. So what makes you think now that if people that had better working conditions at their age cannot retire comfortably, what makes you think that you now faced with significant job market challenges, could have a better retirement or a wonderful retirement when you're in your 50s or your 60s. So I challenge younger people, it is now time to plan your retirement. It is old-fashioned to think that thinking about retirement is until you get to your 50s or to your 55. As at that time, it is late. That's the first one. The second one is that thinking that a company is got your back for your retirement. No. You can no longer depend on your company's retirement plan. Your company's retirement plan is not enough strategy. That's the second one. Do you remember the first one? The first one is the earlier you start planning your retirement, the better. You don't have to wait till you are 50 or you are 60. By that time, it is late to plan for your retirement. And secondly, your company's retirement plan is not enough strategy to plan for your retirement. Okay, that is just on the side. The main purpose of this video is, if we have another lockdown today, how would you survive? And in a business environment, or at a time when companies are actively investing to take people out, to reduce the number of people in their companies as much as possible, what is your competitive strategy to remain relevant and to remain financially secure in that time, in that space? So these are my thinking, these are my thoughts right now, and I'm challenging you to start thinking about these things. Automation, it's going to be automation versus automation. If companies are investing in automation, they're changing the business environment. It is only safe to have an automated system that is working for you, that makes you money, rather than depending on an employment from the company that is no longer investing to hire you. Companies don't want to hire people anymore because it is not competitive to hire people. If company A decides to invest in AI automation, okay, and becomes more competitive than the same company in the same industry who is not investing in AI competition, it's only a matter of time. The company that has invested in AI automation is going to push the one that doesn't invest in automation out of the market. Okay, so companies investing in AI and automation are going to outsmart, they're going to outcompete the companies not investing in AI automation. Okay, do you get it now? So it is not really that companies have a choice. They don't really have a choice. And the earlier the better we get to understand this and accept this reality and start running with strategies, the better. So I don't want this video to be too long, to be longer than this. The message is clear. Companies are no longer hiring people because it is very expensive and not competitive for them. But as people, we have families to feed. We have our life to live. We dream of our own future. So the responsibility is now no longer for the company to build a retirement plan for us. It is now time for us to start building our own retirement plan, to start building our own AI automation systems that makes us money and grants us the future that we need. That's the essence of this video. Thank you for watching. Please do like this video if you got an insight, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. My name is Jide. I'm a Nigerian in Canada. I share thoughts about the future. I talk about living and traveling in Canada. That is my passion. Thank you for watching. Bye.